Hey guys, Infos here, and these are my 10 favorite characters in Grand Theft Auto 4 The Lost and Damned. This game has some very interesting characters. Fortunately there are not many, so making this list was pretty easy. I'll not include the protagonist Johnny Klebets here, because I'll make a separate 10 best protagonist list in the future. Anyone else is allowed a spot. Let's see who I picked, and I would love to see who you chose as your favorite as well. So, without further ado, here are my 10 favorite characters in Grand Theft Auto 4 The Lost and Damned. Number 10 goes to Thomas Stubbs. I'll be honest here, the only reason I placed him here was not because he's a great character, or that he's funny, or even that he's essential to the story. He is here because of the penis. Yep, I'm not a penis lover. I like the titties, as Roman Bellic says. I find his penis cutscene fascinating. In the whole franchise, seeing genitals was pretty much forbidden. Well, Thomas broke the rule, and later on Trevor did the same thing by showing some balls. I said earlier that he's not important to the story. Well, that's not technically true, because he was a big help at the very end of the game. I feel like the Lost MC would have been fine and dandy without him. In short, not a great character, but a great penis, cutscene, Johnny's expression and jokes may be the reason why Thomas is in this list.
So is being arrested for drug running and spending the next 30 years in prison. You and your little gang, I mean.
Number 9 goes to Clay Simmons. We have 3 friends in the game, one of which is named Terry. I find Terry to be boring and uninteresting. His stories are bland, and you won't find him on my list. Clay, on the other hand, I actually love. He is very funny, and we need that in a dark game like this one. He always talks about banging women, his penis, making fun of his friends for being gay, about the war, where, again, he talked about the good old times about banging women. He reminds me very much of Roman Bellic, who is in this game, but I don't find him interesting here. Both of them brag about things which we have no proof of. Is Clay lying? We would never know. Number 8 goes to Ray Bocino. Oh boy, this guy can't catch a break. In both my GTA 4 and this list, he is in the number 8 spot. What gives? He's an amazing character. He deserves more. Well, in GTA 4 he was amazing, but the game had a lot better ones. Here, however, he's a bit worse. I still love his cutscenes, his manipulative and demanding personality, but he falls flat in some cases. Ray is a big help to the crew, even if he doesn't want to. He just wants everyone to get along, so he can move some product. His torture cutscene is top notch, and really shows how selfish he is. Ray doesn't care about the people he works with, but only for himself and pleasing his boss.
Billy was right about both of yous. Backstabbing fools. God, I got guys on every corner. Where you gonna go?
Number 7 is Jim Fitzgerald. Damn, that's a hard name to pronounce. Jim is our third friend, who I treasure a bit more than Clay. Sure, he's not as funny as Clay is, and you know what? I don't even find Jim to be funny at all. That's not important, because I feel like a good friendship is a bit more valuable than having good humor, right? While Billy and baby boy Brian are bringing the crew down, Jim and Johnny are always looking out for the guys, always trying to supply them with good weapons, bikes, and money after selling said bikes. At the end of the game, Jim was at the wrong place at the wrong time, unfortunately. Niko Bellic is not a man to mess with. And bad things happened to my dear friend. This cutscene showed me how valuable Jim is to the crew, and especially Johnny, a true friend who deserved more.
Or we head over to the clubhouse, close to where I happen to know they got themselves set up, and we show them that we're not quite the bitches that they think we are.
Number 6 is Malk. Yep, I like him more than Jim. Sue me! Jim actually introduced him to Johnny. Malk would not even be on many people's lists. From my comment sections in the past, I have seen some hostility towards this character, and I don't understand why. Sure, he makes fun of Johnny, but is that a reason to hate him? That's his humor, guys. That's what I love about him. His hostility, and I mean hostility in air quotes, because he's not really hostile to his friends and the people he works with. He makes jokes all the time about Johnny's bike, but drives a hair dryer himself. He, like Jim, Clay and Terry, is also a good friend because he once risked his life to kidnap Fatty Boy Bellick.
Hey, yo, fuck you, clown. You can compromise these nuts. Give me some.
Number 5 goes to Leavis. Yeah, Leavis! For you it may be a character you forgot an hour after finishing Stubbs' missions. For me, a very funny dude who only tries to do his job without some 80s yappy prick entering his fine establishment. Leavis is married to his job and tries to sound very professional. He really has a stick up his ass and is a very funny dude.
Okay, you only had to say so, sir. Follow me, will you? Mr. Stubbs is in the day spa, receiving some back work.
Number 4 is Ashley. What a total mess! Seriously, can you stoop so low? Ashley is a drug addict and nobody can help her except for herself. Johnny tried so hard in the past. Ray also made a lot of effort fixing her addictive personality, but nothing worked. She looks ridiculous, pimples, baggy clothes, ugly bandana probably hiding some bruises or maybe a big bald spot on top. She sleeps around with everybody, and I do mean everybody. She probably slept with everyone in the Lost MC. With Ray, we did tens of guys who captured her. Oh, she reminds me a lot about Marnie from GTA 4, and that's why I feel sorry for her. Sure, she does it to herself, but it makes me a bit sad seeing her like this, especially since someone, Johnny, still has feelings for her.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's a friend, you know, he's a friend like you, baby. I mean, not like you, but you know, we ain't doing nothing. I mean, not at the moment, but he's a friend, and he's been real good to me, and we need you to do this for us, all right?
And now it's down to the final 3. Number 3 goes to the big girl in town. The boss of bosses, Big Titty Mom. Oh, sorry, whoops, I meant Elizabeta Torres. In GTA 4, she was a great character. Funny, serious, sophisticated and knew how to run a business. Yes, all of these traits. Here, however, she is all of those things but increased by the hundreds. She comes off as funny only because her assistant, but her serious tone is all from her. We learn so much from her past in this game. Her story is fascinating. A story of abuse, maybe molestation. We learn how she had to claw her way from the ashes and reach the top, how she had to suffer so much as a child, and what she had to do to survive. Kinda like Nico. Nico also had an interesting past. This DLC completely changed her to me, and all in a good way.
Andreas!
Hey!
Why do I pay you to protect me when you don't do nothing?
I was in the kitchen, I was doing the thing.
I don't want no fucking excuses! Get the fuck back in the kitchen!
Pero, okay, está bien. Okay, está bien.
Jesus!
Number 2 is Billy Gray. Yep, another antagonist very high on my list. I may be sick or something. Bad guys you should be hating should not even be included here, Mr. Bad Infos. Well guys, for me antagonists make the game enjoyable. While I hate what they do to the main character, and in this case the crew, I find these guys fascinating and most deserve a spot. Billy is no different, he's an asshole, he needs to die, his decisions are terrible and cost the lives of many, he was the reason a few wars happened, many important people died, all because of this knucklehead. Well, he, along with Johnny, seem to be the most refined characters in this game, from the voice lines to the personality to the jokes and everything else. Billy is great and a very good addition to the Lost and Damned. Without him this would have been a boring DLC, even if all the other characters I mentioned before are still in it.
And if I get tested, I have a bag of 12-year-old's piss right here. I am clean.
And finally, on the number 1 spot, I'll place Andreas. What? Andreas? Who's that? Well, my dear viewers, you know me, I'm a weird guy. I always include characters in these lists who are very minor and who you would forget an hour after watching the cutscenes. Not me though, not me. I find many of the minor characters like Cat Williams, Marnie Allen, Leavis and Andreas fascinating. Why is he so far up on my list though? Well, because he is hands down the funniest character in the game and one of the funniest in the whole franchise. He works for a big titty lady and tries to do a good job. Elizabeta screams at him and he's always like, who me? No me, no. He always cracks me up. Sure, Billy could have been placed here, but Andreas stole the show with his sweet personality.
Andreas gonna be waiting for you.
That's right, I'm gonna be waiting for you and anybody else who shows up, okay? Because that's the way I roll.
And that's it guys for all the best characters in Grand Theft Auto 4 The Lost and Damned. If you don't agree, let me know which ones you like the most. Subscribe to my channel for more top lists, lists of best games and whatnot. Thank you so much for watching and a very special thank you to my two lovely Patreon supporters, Alex Chavez and Max Robinson. I'll see you in the next one.